What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here on Gran Turismo Sport for what I believe the best daily race combination on this game, and that is wet weather racing at Spot Rocket Shop. Now, there's a reason why I really enjoy this daily race combination, and that is the fact that it is a treacherous track with some treacherous condition. And not only that, we were given grid starts, so it's going to be just absolute chaos. And it's going to be basically survival of the fittest here, as we're just going to have to do everything in our power to not get spun out, not get involved in any type of chaos, and hopefully we can survive just even going to turn number 1. So 5 red lights, and away we go as we switch the traction control to 1 so we can get a good start down into turn number 1. Heading off into the source, we brake as early as we can to avoid making contact with the Brit right ahead of us as we keep it onto the inside. A little bit of contact is made between us and Kuba, but other than that, everyone is able to get through the source nice and easy, and there was actually no incidents, which I was very surprised of, as that had to be one of the cleanest starts I've ever had on a spa race. And not only that, it was during a wet weather race, so yeah, very proud of everyone that we made it through. But anyways, heading down the Camel Straight for the first time, we get a great move on Kuba as he gets a really bad case of wheel spin on the exit of Radion, and then we get another car going very slow down the Camel Straight. I believe it was got max power in the RA, as I think he got turned or something, because there was a yellow flag towards the end of the Camel Straight, and we just saw a slow car, so I'm assuming he got turned, ghosted out, and a lot of cars were able to get around him as he was able to basically just went from like podium position down to who knows where. But we have to focus on our way here now as we go down into Puan for the first time, stuck right behind the Polishman as we head into the S's here of the second sector. Try to sink out to the inside, couldn't really make anything work here as we just could not get the grip to get a good exit on the right hand corner. But the Polishman gets a really great drive on the outside. It actually takes a little peek on the Brit, Masais, heading into the right-hander, but decides to back out last minute and just follows back in line. And we do the same here as we head down the main straight, leading us into Blanchimont. So, rain racing around Spot. Now, this is, again, one of my favorite combinations. I think this is just absolutely brilliant. It just causes so much drama basically in this race. As you have the spray, you have to worry about accidentally getting your car in a bad position where you end up spinning out. But not only that, there's a lot of aggressive racing that actually happens here, even though it's about half the speed of actual normal dry racing. You can see that cars very, just optimistically go for lunges into some of the braking zone because they feel like they can brake later than what they actually can do, and that leads to a lot of drama and a lot of chaos, and just causes a lot of fun racing and just a lot of unpredictability. And that's one thing I really like. It's just when you cannot predict what's going to happen in the race, and so you can sometimes start off in the back and just find your way in the front just because cars get taken out left and right. But it's going to be a very big mission of just surviving, and that is why we're going to be very patient with how we race on this race, especially in the beginning of the race. So heading down the Camel Straight for the second time, we get Momo's right behind us, and he gets a really great run down the right hand side. We just back out of the throttle as soon as possible heading to the Comsays. I just did not want to go side by side into there. It's just not worth it, and we let Momo's get ahead of us, and I knew he had the pace, and if we could stay with him, we can probably navigate our way up and just kind of see what he was doing to be so quick. But into Puan here, Wesley gets a really bad exit off of No Name, and we take full advantage there as he leaves the inside open just a tad bit. We make a little bit of contact, and he's just struggling here to get onto the power. So we were doing everything in our power to avoid making contact with him more than what we already had, and he loses 2 positions there as he goes into the inside of Kuba and into the right-hander. And at this point, I'm just trying to pull away and try to catch back up to Momo's and ERS right ahead of us. So off of Blanchimont, look behind us, and that is not a sight that I want to see. It was basically just nose to tail right behind us. And going into the chicane, I was expecting us to get rammed out And exactly what I was expecting ends up happening here, as we just get sandwiched in between Kuba and I don't know who the other driver was. I believe it was West, but get sandwiched in between those two, get smashed, and do a full 360 here as we get back onto the racetrack. Get stuck right behind Superior, and that is how you go down from 6th place all the way to 12th. And this is not what I was expecting here, as we come out of La Source and try to catch back up to these guys up ahead. So down into 12th place is going to be a recovery race. I've been in these types of races before, so we're just going to have to be patient here. Just make sure that we don't abuse our tires. Don't overdrive the car, as we still have a ton of racing left. Heading into the Combs here, Superior gets a really bad entrance into the corner, and it even gets a worse exit. He almost loses it heading off of the left-hand side of the Combs, and we are able to get around him easily, as we just kind of did a little bit of a wreck avoidance there. But on the exit, we almost lose the back end, and we just have to control ourselves, gather it all together, and luckily we do, as we now set our sights on the 10th place driver up ahead. So nothing really happened on lap number 3. It was just basically just surviving, just making our way through the track. But going up into Rouge and Radion here on lap number 4, we have 3.5 laps left in the race. So plenty of time still. It's about 10 minutes left, 10, 11 minutes left in the race, due to the fact that the lap here is almost 3 minutes. But as we head down to Camel Straight here, someone actually gets lagged out, and that pushes us up a position as we see a spinning R8, and it's got max power once again. So it's the second time spinning out on this race, and unfortunately for him, that caused him to lose about 3, 4, maybe even 5 positions, and we were able to get around him. So his luck of being bad there was our good luck, and we actually find our way now up into P9, catching up to P6, 7, and 8, as they're just kind of forming a little train here. And that is great for us, as we knew that we were starting to gain some pace here, and we were just starting to catch up to these guys. But again, just can't get too eager here as we now head down to the straight. So going into the straight, Chris gets a really bad case of wheel spin, goes straight into the barrier, and that is going to be P8 for us, as he just goes straight into the wall. And unfortunate for him, he loses 3 positions, almost 4 positions to Virtuoso. And we now set our sights on 6th and 7th here of Kuba and Wessa, and we're going to see if we can get around them, as we actually caught up to P5 as well. So this luck of ours, especially after getting spun out, this track is starting to come to us. But I'm a little bit wary and a little bit concerned here, because last time we tried making it over to, or last time we were around Kuba and Wessa, we got sandwiched in between both of them heading into the chicane, and remember, we got taken out whole 360 and we lost 6 positions. So I was being very, very careful here. I did not want to do a repeat of what happened earlier in the race. And as we catch up to Weston now here, as we go into the final part of the second sector, we're just taking it nice and easy, making sure that we find a great spot to go for an overtake. He has been overdriving the final chicane, so I did note that. And if we could stay right behind and put some pressure on him, maybe we can force him into an error going into the chicane, and that would be an easy spot for us, instead of having to fight with him and possibly risking ourselves getting involved in some type of carnage with him and getting taken out once again. So off of Blanchimont, he gets a really great run actually going down into the chicane, but as we head into the chicane, he just breaks a bit too late, almost takes out Kuba, goes wide, and then he gets welcomed with the ghosting of Polyphony as he gets reset on the track, and that is P7 for us. So basically we were able to scare him. Actually, I don't even think we scared him, to be honest. I think he just missed his breaking point. But going to the chicane, it worked out the way that I was hoping it would work out. And now we set our sights on P Steve and try to get around Kuba. So yellow flags arise here going into Lacombe, and I really don't know where or what happened exactly. I know I saw the yellow flags, but I didn't see a car off, and I was kind of expecting to see one. I was a little bit happy, because I was thinking to myself, oh, okay, we can go back to P6, and this is going to be basically a race for the top 5. if we can get around the car that spun out or whatever carnage occurred to cause a yellow flag. But unfortunately, we just didn't come across anything, and it's still going to be a battle for P6 as we have basically a lap and 2 corners left in the race, and P5 is a little too far up the road, so we can't get that top 5, but we can still come home with a P-Steve. We just have to make sure that by the time we hit the penalty zone, we're close enough to get around Kuba, and that can be P-Steve for us here. So on to the final lap here, into the source for the final time. We clipped the apex the way we want to, but unfortunately on the exit we just get a really bad run, and Kuba was able to just extend the gap that he had between us and him by an extra half a second. That was not what I needed here as we head into our route for the final time up into Radion, trying to stay on the throttle as long as I can, or as much as I can, up at Radion. It's a very, very tricky position to go through because just the lip of the hill causes a car to lose a lot of traction, but we're able to navigate our way through it nice and easy. And as we head into the Combs here for the final time, Kuba gets a really, really great entrance in there, and he was able to just manage the gap as we now get right behind him in the spray. And this is going to be very, very treacherous because we're pushing as hard as we can, but it's a little bit difficult to see where the apex is at and also where our braking zone is at, just due to the fact of the spray. But luckily we're able to just gain enough on Kuba as we get round to his back bumper heading into No Name. Take a little peek on the inside into No Name, but we're a little too far back to go for the move. But here into Puan, we go onto the inside, try to see if we can scare Kuba into a little mistake here as he gets a really bad case of wheel spin right before Puan. But off of the corner he gets a really great run, again just losing the back end there. So just thinking in the back of my mind, maybe if we can stay with him heading off of the final corner, we can possibly go for the overtake and just have a drag race down the line. We know that he's been struggling getting on the power, so we just have to position ourselves correctly here, and then we can possibly get this move done as we have 1 sector left in the race. And as we come down to the main straight here leading us into Blanchimont, Kuba gets a really bad wheel spin and loses the back end, and we're now stuck in the slipstream here as we head down into Blanchimont. We're staying right behind, we're gaining and gaining on him. Spray's kicking up as we head into the Blanchimont. Brake as early as we can, make sure that we get a great exit. We do, and it's still right behind him as we're just catching up to him going into the chicane. Brake as early as we can, try to sneak onto the outside to get a wide entrance into the apex, but unfortunately we just go a bit too deep into the corner, and Kuba is able to just nail his apex, and we're off of the corner. It's gonna be us that loses out, and instead of coming home with a P-Steve, we come home in P7, and that's all she wrote here for this race, as Kuba was able to hold his nerves in and come home with that P-Steve, and we just could not get around him, unfortunately. But I was very, very happy with the result, just due to the fact that we were able to come back after getting taken out. And those are the type of races I really, really enjoy, when I'm doing well but I get taken out and then just work my way through the field and just come back to redeem myself. But hopefully next time we don't get involved in anybody else's wreck, and we can do a lot better, as I feel like I could have probably finished in top 5, top 4, but hey, we just have to wait for the next race. But anyways, let me know how you guys are doing this week on Daily Race C or any other race in the comments down below. And if you guys really enjoyed the video, feel free to smash that like button, as it really helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. Hit that red subscribe button if you want to check out more of my content, and if you want to hit me up on the Twitters, Instagram, or even on Discord, all those links can be found in the description down below. And since you guys made it to the end of the video, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.